Hello, I am Editor Than Mai. I will provide you with the latest information of the day. Gun deaths among children rise in states with lax firearm laws. New study finds gun deaths among children have risen over a 13-year period in states with lax firearm laws, according to a new study published this week in JAMA Pediatrics, peer-reviewed medical journal. Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho and Georgia were among the states that saw a jump in pediatric gun deaths after amending their firearms restrictions following a 2010 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that applied the Second Amendment to the states, researchers found. Dr. Jeremy Faust, an emergency room doctor at Massachusetts General Brigham Hospital and the study's lead author, said he started the research after wondering why gun deaths among children were so high. Firearms are the leading cause of death among children and teenagers in the United States, with a steep increase in ages 15 to 19 starting in 2020. Why did things go so badly in some states? Faust asked. He said legal scholars told him to look at McDonald v. City of Chicago, which applied the Second Amendment to local jurisdictions. The Supreme Court held in the landmark case that the Constitution's Second Amendment restrains the government's ability to significantly limit the right to keep and bear arms. For the first decade of the 21st century, there were very few changes to gun laws, but every state changed their laws to some or great extent after McDonald, said Faust. Researchers divided the 50 states into three groups: most permissive, permissive and strict, based on legal changes made since 2010. The team, which included researchers from Brown University, Yale New Haven, the University of Pittsburgh, and the University of California, used a Centers for Disease Control and Prevention database to analyze data from the decade before the Supreme Court ruling and then compared that to data from 2011 to 2023. The findings surprised Faust and his team, he told CBS News. Youth deaths jumped by 7,398 in the period after the Supreme Court ruling, with a total of 23,000 gun-related fatalities. Children's deaths by both homicide and suicide also rose in states that had the most permissive firearm laws, the study found. Black youth also saw the largest increase in firearm deaths in the most permissive and permissive states. The CDC found in 2023 that the vast majority of firearm deaths involving young children were due to guns that were stored unlocked and loaded. But Faust said that while gun storage is an important part of saving lives, the study shows strict laws play an enormous role in preventing youth firearms deaths. In the states that had the most restrictive laws, deaths remained stable, or, in some cases, there were fewer pediatric gun deaths. California had a 40% reduction in children's gun deaths, the study found. New York, Rhode Island, Maryland and Massachusetts also saw a decrease. This study shows the problem is linked pretty tightly to legal posture. This can be fixed and bring back thousands of people, Faust said. States should ask what they want for their communities. What are they willing to do to save lives? Gun advocates like Emma Brown, the executive director of Giffords, an anti-gun violence group led by former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, who was shot in the head in 2011 during a constituent meeting, applauded the study's findings. Guns are the leading cause of death for kids and young people in the United States, and now more kids are dying because some states prioritize making gun CEOs richer over fighting crime and building safe communities, Brown said. This study shows what we all know: common sense gun laws save lives. Please like and subscribe to wait for the next information. Goodbye and see you again.